Hello, my name is Greg Worth. I am the Chair of Board of Directors of Helena Area Habitat for Humanity. I would like to welcome you to this very special event. With this event, we hope to provide an understanding of the work and vision of the Helena Area Habitat for Humanity and our unrelenting commitment to eliminating substandard housing in Helena. Helena currently faces an unprecedented housing crisis. There is simply not enough quality, affordable housing to meet the needs of working individuals and families in the Helena area. Tonight, you will learn how the Helena Area Habitat for Humanity, with your gracious support, is addressing the growing crisis by building and repairing more homes than ever before, and by partnering with key organizations and businesses to increase our efforts locally and across Montana. These shared accomplishments cannot be realized without the generosity and engagement of our entire community. I am grateful to be in the company of everyone attending this event, and I'm tremendously excited to continue our mission in ensuring that every man, woman, and child in Helena has a safe, decent, and affordable place to call home. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jacob Kuntz. I'm the Executive Director of Helena Area Habitat for Humanity. I just wanted to thank you for joining us this evening for this unique and special event for Helena Area Habitat for Humanity. I hope over the next 40 minutes that you get to know a little bit more about the work that we do in this great community. Over the last existence of Habitat, going back to 1992, the first 25 years of Habitat, we completed 30 new homes. In the last 5 years, and leading up to the spring of 2021, we would have built or substantially remodeled an additional 26 homes for families who need them in the Helena area. All of this work and the growth of the organization is led by a belief that housing shouldn't be something afforded by only the lucky few, but should be a right and dignity of everybody who lives in Helena. And so that's why we do the important work of ensuring that everyone in Helena has a safe, decent, affordable place to call home. The growth of this organization over the last 5 years wouldn't have been possible without the vision and inspiration and the guidance of a really unique group of people in our board of directors who volunteer day in, day out in guiding this organization and providing the vision and the energy behind everything that they do. They loan us their skill sets and their knowledge and their experience in making this work better. It also can't be done without an inspired staff that come every day to this work and give everything they can for the people that we serve. In a time of COVID, you're not going to see these folks very much, but if you do, I encourage you to reach out and encourage Morgan and Ben and Jamie and Julia and the Restore staff and Mark and all these people who come to Habitat's work every day and make sure that our families feel guided and feel led and in the important work. Tonight, you're going to hear directly from families who have been living in Habitat homes or who have been served by Habitat in the last year. You're also going to hear the vision of this organization as we move forward and how we're going to meet the challenges that we currently face and address them for this community to make sure that we're building more housing. You may know that Habitat puts up walls, and you've seen these images of putting walls up on new homes, or you may know Habitat just from our #1 volunteer, Jimmy Carter. But this organization does so much more than build new housing. So we wanted to share a little bit about all the programs that Habitat is currently invested in Helena by showing you this video.
Youth Build is a nonprofit program that helps 16 to 24-year-old youth learn a construction trade, and they can take that construction trade and use it out in the real world. So we spend 7 months with our students, about 10 weeks in the classroom, learning the NCCER curriculum, and they learn basics and safety through that curriculum. And then we come out to the job site here at Habitat and work on the homes to gain some real-world experience that they can take out and get a job.
Hi, Jamie Rye here, the manager of the Helena Area Habitat Restore. At the Restore, we're not just about providing inexpensive construction materials or furniture or other treasures. I mean, for sure we do that, but we are about being and doing so much more. At the Helena Restore, we're all about imagining a different kind of world. A world where our disposable culture sees value and potential in the unused and discarded. A world where people and profits collide not in opposition but in collaboration. Where people and profits collide to donate instead of discard. Where they collide to care for the environment, providing conscious-driven consumers with usable second-chance products. A world where people are more important than profits and where profits create housing for people. Sure, I can give you all the statistics. In the last 3 months, we've processed 1,400 donations, meaning tons and tons of material has been rescued from the landfill. Or that our low prices and diverse volunteer opportunities have provided thousands of dollars in savings each month for hardworking folks and hundreds of hours of meaningful service. All of these statistics are really great, but there is much more going on at the Restore. We are a business, about the business of transforming a community. When you partner with Habitat, when you partner with the Restore, you are investing in an organization that is all about community transformation. We cannot wait to see what we can do together.
We are currently working with over 200 applicants who are at various stages of becoming ready for homeownership. Some are immediately ready and others are working to become ready. We work with applicants and support them with financial education and skill building about topics such as debt, credit, and student loans. We focus on preparing future homeowners, and every applicant receives individualized support. We also make referrals to outside organizations. We have partners throughout the state who we work with to support applicants who are working towards homeownership. Together, we create pillars of support for an applicant to succeed. With our partners, we have held over 6 financial skill building classes. Financial skill building is a key part of our work. The goals may change from credit and debt at the start of the process to savings and stability when owner builders are selected and begin building.
Helena Habitat has been working to expand our outreach to rural communities through a federal grant from the United States Department of Agriculture for mutual self-help. The program requires that we build in rural communities. In addition to our current building projects in Helena, this year Helena Habitat is working on a pilot project in Red Lodge, Montana, to build 4 homes in collaboration with the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation and Trust Montana. The pilot project is a unique collaboration between nonprofits and a local banking institution to provide housing for the residents of Red Lodge. This pilot is part of a wider effort for our organization to find ways to assist rural communities throughout the state with their needs for workforce housing, expanding our capacity to serve rural communities with their housing needs, while also increasing our housing efforts in the Helena area.
We hope you're a little surprised by some of that information, some of the programs that Habitat does on a day-to-day basis in Helena and beyond. We're working as an organization to see how do we build the capacity to be able to meet the growing need in Helena. And at the same time, as you've seen there, we're working with rural communities as well to say, how do we use the apparatus of this nonprofit organization, the financial resources and federal grants to be able to serve communities throughout the state with their desperate housing needs. In a couple of minutes, you're going to hear directly from families. Some families and individuals have been living in their homes for several years. Others who just entered their homes this year, as well as families that are currently and individuals who are currently building with us actively in building their homes in the Helena area. But I wanted to take a couple of minutes to lay out a bit of the vision and talk a little bit about where we're going as an organization. Everybody knows about the challenges that the pandemic has had on nonprofits, so that's no mystery. I think the added challenge to what's happened in Helena with housing has been tremendous. In the last 6 months since the pandemic occurred, housing prices have gone up 22 to 25%. That has been an astronomical growth just in 6 months of time. And that was preceded by several years where we had 7 to 10% annual growth in the appreciation of homes in Helena. At that same time, housing, the wages that families earn have stayed pretty constant while housing prices have skyrocketed. And that means that the work that we were doing as an organization to build capacity so that we could do more in the community to access as many families as possible has just become harder because now housing is even further and further out of reach of individuals and families throughout the community because of the prices that have occurred. These are challenges that happen, and they're challenges that we're facing, and we're committed to overcoming these challenges by getting creative. Our organization has built the capacity over time to meet the needs of a rising need within our community. Currently, right now, we have over 200 applicants on our waiting list that constitute somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500 people who have come to Habitat seeking housing help. We're not able to access all those people. They're in our pipeline of individuals that we're looking to serve, and we're hoping to build more and more houses as we move forward. In the meantime, while housing costs have gone up, land costs have also increased in Helena. Just in the last 5 years alone, those land prices have more than doubled in the Helena area. We used to be able to access a lot for about $45,000 a couple years ago, and before the pandemic, it grew to about $85,000. And now in the Helena area, inside the city limits, you're looking at land prices that are over $100,000. It would be easy in the midst of this for us to get comfortable with the capacity that we've grown as an organization. We've done pretty good by everybody who probably looks in. We used to build 1 house a year. This year we're building 8 houses. That would look pretty good. But what we're building currently nowhere matches the need that exists within the Helena area. It's not enough for an organization to be good at managing money or to be excellent at implementing programs if we become comfortable with where we're at and we're not willing to think outside the box and become creative to achieve and to build more so that we can access housing, then we're not meeting our vision as an organization. And our vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to call home. So with that vision, we have an obligation as an organization to rise to meet the current challenges and to get creative and to think outside the box and to be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things so that we can access housing for everybody on our list. Not just for 4 or 8 or maybe 10 next year, but to keep working until we found a solution that solves the housing issue in Helena. And so how are we going to do that? Well, we think we have some pretty good ideas for this. We want to hear from you. If you have ideas as well, we want to hear those. There's no bad ideas, but here's some of the ways we're addressing this. In the last few years, we've built a really tight-knit group of strategic partnerships with organizations, for-profit businesses, and then also working with our local municipal government and state government to be able to try and find access to different housing models. So those partnerships are going a long way. There's no way that Helena Habitat in itself can solve the need for 200 housing units per year that are currently needed in Helena just to meet the rising demand. We're going to have to get creative, and we're going to have to get willing to reach out and build those partnerships. So we are doing that. We're building strategic partnerships so that we can address the housing need. We're also looking at every funding model, every grant, every financial resource that might be laying out there that we may have not be thinking about, that is sitting out there just waiting to be utilized to maximize for its fullest potential. For every dollar that we raise in the local area, we're able to match that with $5, $4 to $5 through the federal grant programs and down payment assistance programs and foundation help and the work that we do in building these financial networks. So we're bringing that money to Helena and utilizing that on the ground to build housing. None of that would be good enough. We'd always be chasing building housing if we don't find ways of ensuring permanent affordability for homes. So that's why we're thinking through the land trust model. Homes that are held in trust, meaning the land is in trust, families own the houses, and we're able to keep those homes permanently affordable over time. In that way, every dollar that's invested in the homes in the Helena area is not just serving one family with home ownership, it's serving generations of families in home ownership. Hopefully, long after I'm gone, these homes will still be serving families with home ownership. And in that way, we don't just keep on trying to fill the gap with building new homes. we're actually getting into a process of reselling homes. So as family situations change and they move out of state or they move out and do different things, we're able to access those homes for the people that are on our waiting list. So we're building new homes. We're accessing as many dollars as we can to build as many homes as possible in the Helena area. And at the same time, we're going to keep those homes permanently affordable through deed restrictions and land trusts, so that if a family sells it, they walk away with some equity, they're able to improve their situation financially, but we're also able to access that house for future generations going down the line. We're also advocating for housing issues. On the local level, we've had great success working with the city of Helena, working with the county on creating access for housing issues, for land and for policies that could benefit housing. At the state, we're doing the same thing. We're going to be speaking out at the legislature, encouraging them to work with us to create more access and bring more dollars into housing in the state of Montana, but also in Helena. At the same time, we have this list of 200 applicants who are waiting in our pipeline of families. We're working with each one of them with financial resources to prepare them for homeownership. Some of those folks are paying off debt, building credit. All of them are working toward a future where they can perhaps build with us. But if they don't, perhaps they've built themselves into a situation where they can access the market on their own. We would love that. But these financial resources are key to building the strength and stability of the families and the applicants before they ever enter our program. And so that when we know when they enter our program that they are going to be absolutely amazing homeowners. We want to make sure that people are placed into homes, have absolute a rock solid future ahead of them living in these homes. At the same time, we've been working on the new home ownership and finding as many ways to build as many homes as possible. We've invested in the last few years in repair programs. Helena is desperately in need of repairs for existing homeowners, a lot of folks who are in trailers who need just a roof over their head, who need an improvement to an electrical system, a plumbing system, or maybe a heating system, just basic repairs, maybe just a new paint job on a house, but they have no way of accessing that repair dollars or trying to find contractors. They're oftentimes on fixed income. So you're going to see the expansion of our repair programs that are so desperately needed here in the next year as we try to build that program to a point where we can have a fully fledged repair program working with Helena Habitat. All of this is really key in the dollars acquisition and getting creative. But the writing on the wall is that our organization is going to have to get into the land development business. We're going to have to perhaps partner with for-profit partners or other housing organization to take raw land and develop it into neighborhoods so that we can create mixed income communities where we can build more homes. We could be building 20 plus homes a year in Helena to serve the families if I just had access to land. So we have to get creative about land and how we approach land. And so land development is a big part of our future. In addition to all of this, we've received a grant from the federal government, the USDA, that allows us to work in rural areas. The pilot project that we're working on in Red Lodge has been absolutely fantastic. We're building 4 homes in Red Lodge currently with our partner, the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation, and with Trust Montana, a statewide trust, land trust. And that's part of a strategy that we're working on to see how do we work with these rural communities to help them build capacity in their home ownership and their housing and market. A lot of them don't have the capacity to maintain an organization like Habitat for Humanity. There was sometimes a habitat in some of these communities that folded just because of the lack of volunteers or because of how challenging it is to keep a nonprofit running. We want to be able to partner with rural communities, not just in Red Lodge, but communities that are closer to us, Lincoln, Seeley Lake perhaps, White Sulphur Springs, to build more housing in communities where they just don't have the capacity to be able to have a housing organization of their own. Our organization is committed to this work. We're committed to thinking outside the box and to finding new ways of doing things. And that's because we have a board of directors that cares deeply about these issues, and they're willing to consider any idea to make that happen. And that's because we have a staff who are willing to take any idea and run with it and try to figure out, is this something that we can actually do, or is this just something we need to set aside at the moment? We're committed to this community and committed to you in making sure that our vision is fulfilled in the work that we're doing at every point. So at any point when we're missing something, we want to keep on working till we find a solution to these issues. And I'm proud to report, and I feel very encouraged, despite the challenges of the last 6 months, that we have some real potential to meeting the need for housing and finding the partners that are necessary to solve housing issues in the Helena area. If we can just get creative and if we can just have enough dedication to it. All of these goals and challenges are inspiring to us. They push us on every day, and they're absolutely attainable. There's nothing that I've said here today that we can't do as an organization, both in where we've come and where we're going. We owe it to the people who have come to us and who have looked for that opportunity for housing, for that dream of home ownership. We owe it to them to find every way that we possibly can to help make their dream a reality. We wanted to share with you some videos of interviews that we have with families who have been living in their homes for some time and others who have just entered their homes. We hope you enjoy this video of these families.
Well, we were trying to do houses the traditional way, and something just always seemed to come up.
I mean, by the time I would be able to afford something, it was gone in 2 hours.
The stat is 50% of Lewis and Clark County actually qualify for this program, which is huge. And if anybody thinks like I do, then they just assume that they don't qualify for that. And the case is you do.
Didn't really know what I was getting myself into when I first signed up.
There's like all sorts of emotions that go with building. You know, you're upset and then you're happy, you're sad, like you go through everything, I think.
I know that it's not just me building my house. I'm helping my neighbors too, or my future neighbors. And so I don't want to let them down in any way.
Just to show up and know that your neighbors are here for you every Saturday to help you build. It's just so much more meaningful to know that you built it along with people who you really have grown to care for.
Day to day, it was definitely just kind of showing up for everybody else and knowing that we were all there for the same thing and we were all frustrated on the same days.
Go home with blisters and you can't move your arms or you can't walk the next day. It was definitely a challenge, but I looked forward to being here every time that we were building because I learned something new.
You actually come out here and build. I didn't know I could do that.
So hello to everybody. My name is Autumn. I'm house number 3.
What everyone thinks of Habitat is that it's just this handout, which isn't the case at all. It sounds easy, but we were out here every single Wednesday night, rain, shine, no matter what, whether you felt like it, whether you didn't.
Learning to live as a one-income single family definitely has its struggles. I had to give up our house and everything in it. That was 2.5 years ago, and here we are today. I was now trying to find out how I was going to commit to building my home every Wednesday evening and every Saturday all day. I have my mom, my dad, and my sister, and my family to thank. To thank for helping alleviate that stress. Without that help, I might not have been standing here today about to be a homeowner. I would often hear from my children, "Mom, can we do something today?" I would have to say, "Mom's got to work on the house, baby. It'll wait till Sunday." I just kept telling myself that I am doing this for them. Going through this process with you has been wonderful. Now we look back and see that we can do whatever we put our minds to. This has been a tough one, but the end is finally here, and now we can bask in our efforts. I thank all of you for coming here to share this, again, extremely amazing day with us. Thank you all.
I feel like I've been relying on people for a really long time. you take for granted having your own space. It's been a really long time since we've been able to do that.
I definitely have some really good memories up on the roofs of these houses. And it's just really surreal to think that this was nothing and we made it something.
Just seeing everything come together and knowing that I was part of building it. It's amazing.
I feel like I personally will be able to take a deep breath again, and I can actually breathe easy knowing that my kids are safe.
I mean, to say that I build a house is kind of insane. I would just say, like, don't let any type of reservation stop you. Just apply and just see where it goes.
So they kind of create the scenario for you to be successful. So if you're a motivated person, then you pretty much have everything set out for you.
Becoming family with all of my neighbors and the bond that we all have for each other is amazing.
We have our own yard and our own house where we can make our own memories, and I mean, yeah, this is just another step in the right direction for us.
I don't know, it's my house. The feeling of having your own house it's just amazing. It's like, I can say I own a house. Well, sometimes I say the bank owns it, but I've been low income my whole life. I raised 4 kids without help from their dad, and I never really had anything. And this house is mine. I got to pick the color it was painted. I get to decorate it, you know. It's just the feeling inside of you that you can be a homeowner. Mm-hmm. Because I was low income, I kind of felt like, you know, I could never do anything. When I'm gone, when I pass, I had nothing to give my children. And now they can sell this house and I have an inheritance for them. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So this is the old house that they tore down. And Melody was the old director when they started this. And as you can see, it's very dilapidated. The whole roof in the backside had caved in. The floor in 2 rooms had caved in down to the dirt. Well, they tore it down. And then here's another article. They're putting in the footings. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And if I ever leave this house, I'm going to leave those for the new people. I don't know if they'll appreciate it, but I think they should.
Hi, my name is Kelly Moody, and I am a Habitat owner as of January 2017. This is my first house. Being low income, of course I never thought of myself as low income, but in the profession that I absolutely loved, unfortunately I didn't pay what I need as a single mom to have my own home. Before Habitat, I tried the traditional way of getting a loan through a bank, and a representative at a bank suggested Habitat. So I put in an application, and Lord and behold, here I am. This house has been a dream of mine for a very long time. It's given my family, meaning my son and I, this ability of having a stable place to come home to, something that I know is mine, something that I know that I could pass down to him when I pass away or move on. It's a place where I could be creative and do the things that I love to do, whether it's decorate, remodel, gardening. When you're renting a place, unfortunately, you're limited on what you could do within your space. It also has given me the courage It's given me the confidence that I can do something, repair something with this house, since I helped build it and I know, the structure, the layout, the confidence of achieving fears. For instance, I'm afraid of heights, so getting up on the roof was a sort of a overhurl of a fear I had. But the fact that I had the confidence to get up there and do it and achieve something I never thought that I would be able to achieve. I also feel that this house has also given my son things that he's always dreamt of. For instance, having 2 dogs. Unfortunately, in a place where you're renting, you can't, for most part, you can't have animals. And that was one promise that I kept with my son, of getting a dog. Ended up being 2, but getting a dog once we moved into our own place. So I was really proud to be able to deliver that for him. He had his own space. He has his own space, excuse me. Before this house, we were living in a studio apartment, so it's kind of hard to have your own privacy, so to speak. But you do what you got to do in order to make it work and provide. And that's my story.
Awesome. So why did you decide that you wanted to join the board?
Joining the board was something that I was excited to do because of what Habitat did for me, and I wanted to be able to help do that for others. I'm a strong believer of Habitat. They do an amazing, a lot of good things for a lot of good people who want to prosper, who want to make their life better, or just have a chance, to improve their lifestyle, regardless of what it is. Unfortunately, the economy, there's a lot of challenges with that, so the American dream isn't as easy as it used to be, so to speak. So joining the board was a great opportunity to give back what was given to me.
Awesome.
Now that you have heard my personal story, have heard about the full work of Habitat in Helena and some of our wonderful people, it's my privilege to ask you to make a financial investment in Helena Area Habitat for Humanity. It truly is an investment in the future of Helena, and I believe it's one of the most important investments any of us can make. When we look at what we want to ask you for, we decide to request what we really need most: financial support for our day-to-day operations. There are hundreds of individuals and families who need the service Habitat provides. Your support can help ensure we can serve these families well into the future. To build a stronger foundation for expanding our programs and to provide a stable future for Helena Area Habitat for Humanity, we are inviting you to pledge your support to the Helena Home Builders Circle. If you have been inspired by what you've seen today, I ask you now to consider joining me today in our circle of builders. Builders are more than those who put their hands to the physical task of building a home. They are also those who commit their financial resources to ensure a prosperous future for others in their community. If you have RSVP'd for this event or have given before, you should have received a pledge card in the mail. If you didn't register, don't worry. You can still make a donation or pledge by visiting www.helenahabitat.org and clicking Donate Now. The Home Builder Circle's pledge levels names are meant to give you a sense of what your contribution can do. Your contribution will go towards the unrestricted operation funds of Helena Area Habitat for Humanity to help us build homes, communities, and hope. The first giving level in the Home Builder Circle is a pledge of $1,000 each year for 5 years. We call this the Foundation Builder. $1,000 pays for all the doors in a Habitat home. If you would consider a gift at this level, which is an average of $83.33 a month, your gift will allow Habitat to open the door to more families in Helena. The next giving level in the Home Builder Circle is a pledge of $5,000 a year for 5 years. We call this our Neighborhood Builder. With $5,000, Helena Habitat would be able to replace roofs for 1 or 2 families a year. Habitat has recognized a significant need for roof replacement services in Helena. Many of the homes we see in Helena are actively leaking. These families are left vulnerable not only to the changing weather, but the potential chain of events that may lead them into losing their homes due to the lack of insurance. Your contribution at this level will allow us to serve more individuals and families with this vital service. We know that many of you are part of a company or a foundation, or may just be in a position to give more. So the next level is Block Builder, which lets you have far-ranging impact on the lives of families. $10,000 is the average cost of a housing subsidy Habitat provides a family to be able to afford their home. If you would consider a gift of $10,000 a year for 5 years, that will be a major boost in expanding our ability to serve more families with home ownership. If you are joining me today as a founding member of the Home Builder Circle, my personal thanks to your generous support. If you are already a member of the Home Builder Circle and are affirming your pledge to Habitat today, I thank you for making this work possible. Although I started by introducing these 3 levels of the Home Builder Circle, we know and respect that you may prefer to give at a different level. We truly appreciate whatever level of support you could provide. Whatever the level, your contribution will be put to good work ensuring the future for our neighbors. Perhaps you would consider a gift of stock, land, or something else, or you simply have great ideas for us. If so, please check the box on your pledge card that says, "Please contact me. I have other thoughts to share." If you have filled out a card today, we have provided a pre-stamped, self-addressed envelope for you to return. Whatever gift you have chosen to make today, whether you have become a member of the Home Builder Circle, made a gift at a different level, or have ideas you want to share with us later, we sincerely thank each one of you on behalf of the families and individuals we serve. And we thank you for all the most important gift you have given today, the gift of your valuable time. We really appreciate that you took the time out of your busy lives to be here this evening to learn more about Helena Area Habitat for Humanity. Now I would like to turn it over to Jacob.
If you want to learn more about Habitat for Humanity, our programs, if you want to make a donation, read more of these partner family and individual stories, the folks we've served, you can always go to our website at www.helenahabitat.org. You'll find everything there, including if you're the type of person that likes to fall asleep reading financial statements, we've got that there for you as well. There's more than one way of getting involved with Habitat besides making a donation. We are always looking for great people to serve on our committees and on our board of directors. If you want to be a part of shaping this organization and leading it and providing vision to the organization, would like to serve on the board of directors, I'd love to talk to you about that. We have a lot of committees that we serve, working with families, working with our building committee, shaping the different programs that we have. We're always looking for good people in that way. Volunteering right now is different. During COVID, we've reduced our volunteer programs. We're not currently having groups of volunteers come out to the build site, but we're always talking to people about setting things up for when we get beyond all this mess. And we'd love to continue talking to you about that as well. In addition to that, as I mentioned, advocacy is a big part of our organization now and as we move forward, both local, state, and at the federal government. We are advocating as part of a large network of Habitat for Humanity affiliates. There's over 1,400 in all 50 states. And we're speaking as one voice on housing issues, asking our politicians and our public servants to prioritize housing in our communities. If you want to be a part of lending your voice to that group of people who are advocating for housing issues, both locally and nationally, we'd love to be talking to you and include you in our list of people to contact when we go and make those appeals. No matter how you choose to support Helena Area Habitat for Humanity, whether it's through your dollars, your time, or your voice, I just want to thank you on behalf of our staff, the board of directors, and the people that we serve. It truly makes a difference. Anything that you contribute and anything that you participate in making this organization serve more people in our community is fantastic and wonderful. This Saturday, I want to invite you, October 31st, Halloween, we're inviting you to come out and drive by our build site and wave at the families. They're building this Saturday. They're installing siding on the homes. We're going to have some very sanitized Halloween candy to hand out. And we'd be happy to talk to you at a safe distance about the housing and tell you about what we're doing. From 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we'll be inviting folks to come out to the site, but you can come out at any time. Following this event, we're going to be sending out an email that will have directions to the build site and we'll share how you get there. But from 10 o'clock till noon on Halloween, this coming Saturday, we'll be handing out little bits of candy and you can watch families work. I want to give a special thanks to Julia Farmer for all she did in putting together this great event and doing all of the video work. She's responsible for putting this all together and getting it organized. Thank you so much again for taking time out of your evening to learn a little bit more about Habitat for Humanity and what we're doing in Helena. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to vote. We really encourage you to do that, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.